Like, come on, what is a story without characters? Hey guys, it's Chanel, aka Friendly Reads, and we're going to be talking about writing main characters. So when it comes to creating any kind of character, it's such an exciting yet nerve-wracking experience. You get the name choosing, which is kind of fun, and sometimes it takes longer than it needs to. And then you get to create backstories, and then, oh wait, I'm talking about making side characters. It's easier to make backstories for side characters. We're talking about main characters. So how do we do this? I mean, your MC is supposed to be the one who's carrying your story. They're the main things you want your readers to follow. So it's one of those few things that you can't screw up. Let's go over some things to consider when you're creating your MC. Storyline. You've created this character to carry your story, but what is the story? Are they the chosen one who are supposed to battle evil? Are they a rebel in society? Are they someone who discovers that they have powers? Or they could be a princess who wants more. As I mentioned in previous videos, when I first started writing, I had an idea that I was going to write a next Disney movie. More specifically, I was going to write the next Disney princess. And with that story, that's when I created Leon, a knave who always gets into trouble just to make ends meet, who collides with a princess who wants, you've guessed it, which now leads into motivation and goals. That's what's really going to drive the story. What does your MC want versus what they already have versus what they need? In earlier versions, Leon didn't have much and he was an orphan. He wanted a comfortable life. And then when it came for Layla, I had to ask myself, what does she want other than wanting more? The more I kept digging, the more I wanted to tell Layla's story more than I originally planned. Now, that didn't mean I want to tell Leon's story any less. I just thought it was better to have two MCs with engaging stories that I want to explore. So with that being said, why should your readers care? As I kept writing more versions of my story, as I went from Lost and Found to Nights, I believe, that's when the storyline for Layla and Leon really began to change from what they started with. Leon was no longer an orphan or a knave. He actually lived in a comfortable life. So now that I actually gave Leon that comfortable life, what did he actually want? I mean, let's be honest. We've seen hundreds of stories with, he's not a bad guy. He's just trying to make ends meet. He always gets into trouble. He's an orphan.
Morning, ladies.
Getting into trouble a little early today, aren't we, Aladdin?
Trouble? No way. You're only in trouble if you get caught. Gotcha! I'm in trouble.
So I guess with that in mind, I guess that's why I want to change it up for Leon. I want to give him something new, not necessarily saying that it's a bad trope, but I want to just go a different route with the trope. Leon still being a bit of a troublemaker sometimes, but he was very more mature about it. The age I had written for him, he was 21. So whatever he did wasn't exactly childish, and it wasn't anything like illegal or something that he would get arrested for, but it was mainly for him to do something that could get out of his comfort zone. He's trying to make a name for himself. So the version I have him in now is that Leon is always known for being the captain's son. But what can Leon do to be known more than the captain's son? And then with Layla, it wasn't just about her wanting more. It was almost the same lines as Leon about getting out of her comfort zone and trying to be something more known than being just a princess. Layla wanted to make a name for herself. And more importantly, Layla wanted to actually see her good deed. I guess you could almost say it's like Jasmine and want to see a whole new world and experience something other than home.
Never done a thing on my own. I've never had any real friends. Never even been outside the palace walls.
And it was going in line with her personality. Layla was almost like I wouldn't call her a workaholic, but she liked to keep busy. Personality also helps with your MCs and helping your readers care about them. We get to see what kind of person they are, and your readers are able to relate to them. Of course, with the kind of life that Layla had, very sheltered. She was a princess, didn't have much friends, but she did have friends. She was very sporty when she was a kid, very competitive. And, Even now, she's almost like a perfectionist. Everything has to be done, everything is planned and scheduled, and everything has to go up to par. Layla was more of a planner than Leon. Leon likes to see where his life is going to take him.
Put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah, well, how else are you gonna get what you want?
I don't know. I don't like making plans. Just kind of roll with things.
Yeah, but what do you want to do?
Not sure. You happy, I guess?
Whereas Layla, she wants the 5-year, the 10-year plan.
Where do you see yourselves in, say, 5 years?
Oh, ask me. I know. I have a great answer for this question.
Oh, I'm good.
I own a small gourmet food store, soon to be a small gourmet restaurant. We're expanding. New flooring, I'm thinking hexagonal tile.
Flooring.
Excited.
That's part of everyone's 5-year plans. Flooring, right?
Anyway, I'm also hoping to have my own frozen food line, organic, of course.
But that's the 10-year plan. You asked about the 5-year plan. Oh,
How that interferes with their characters is that if Layla sees that things aren't going according to her plan, that's a problem for her. Whereas for Leon, he actually starts to have that moment like, what am I going to do? Because he never plans anything. So now he's having that dilemma of what is actually going to be his future. And with these two MCs, you get to see how they work with each other. And I had the advantage of them being friends like since childhood. So knowing what's going on in each other's life and being able to freely talk to each other. In one of my earlier drafts, when it was still like a script, before it got turned to a novel, was that Leon actually wanted to go with a whole new team of knights to another part of the kingdom. And Leon was very young. He was 21. That's practically like a new age for knights, and he was just a captain's son. So Layla, seeing that Leon actually is trying to have a plan for his future, of course writes like some type of letter of recommendation so he can leave. And you get to see how they help each other, whereas Leon tries to help Layla understand that even if things are not going according to plan, it's fine. But you can kind of get the point about being able to relate to these characters because they are new adults. This is the time that this is your life now. Like, this is your future. Like, whatever you're planning, like from what you were 16, this is what you're supposed to be now. And it's them trying to experience life, and you see their struggles, and it's just about both of them trying to go out their comfort zone and both trying to make a name for themselves and see if this is the future that they want, even though this is something that they have been planning or not have been planning for. And of course, when it comes to writing your character's personality, we want to make sure that we have flaws. All of our characters can't be perfect. It's impossible. Nobody's perfect. And even if your character thinks they're perfect, that is their flaw. They're a perfectionist. They want everything to be perfect, and sometimes that's gonna get in their way of their character. You have to make your MCs so that your readers can root for them, because eventually in the story they're gonna have that hero falls moment where every possible thing has gone wrong and they see that there's no hope for them achieving their goals. Before you reach that hero falls moment, you have to remember that in each chapter is the character growing and progressing to reach that goal, only for it to be snatched away from them, or even if they did achieve it, have a big downfall from what they achieved. And now all you want is that character to find a way to get back up to, how they were in the beginning, with that passion that they have to achieve that goal. And that's how you can get your readers to root for them, because not only are they able to see their progression through the story, but you see how they grow as a person. I like how I made my characters have those moments where they do have the option to get help from others, but sometimes they don't take it because they feel like they can handle them themselves, or they just don't want to bother anyone. And as you're writing, you slowly get to see how your character is changing from what they started from. So giving them a storyline, giving them personality and motivation, and making them be relatable contribute to how you make your main character. And I'm pretty sure there are more stuff, more detail of when it comes to making your main character. And if that comes to mind, I will definitely make a new video about main characters or characters in general when it comes to side characters, or even when it comes to writing point of views of your characters. So I would love to do that in the future. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram so you can get an insight into my writer's journey. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification video so you can be aware whenever I make a new video. And don't forget, guys, to hang on tight because we're writing something great. And Baby Yoda believes it too. I love my baby.